In this series, we're going to be linking up with industry leaders and exploring aftermarket workshops to see how we can improve, optimise and organise their businesses. I'm your host, Jason Owen. In this episode, we are going to be exploring the challenges that the aftermarket workshops face and how and why they need to evolve to rise to those challenges. As part of the Leading Evolve workshop program by Mechanic.com.au, Evolve TV helps aftermarket workshops discover how to become more connected with the marketplace, their customers, their staff, as well as other leading aftermarket workshops. Learn how to leverage digital platforms and tools as well as best business practices in order to run a more efficient and innovative automotive service and repair business. This is Evolve TV. In this episode, we're joined by Ryan Davis, who is the founder and CEO of Mechanic.com.au. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jason. Great to be here.
Absolutely. Now, for those joining us who aren't familiar with the platform with Mechanic.com.au, tell us a little bit about it.
So Mechanic.com.au was started in 2017. And as you know, I'm an automotive technician myself. So the problem that I had back in 2017 in the workshop is doing diagnostics, trying to solve problems with vehicles. Sometimes you get stuck and you need a little help, and you'd have the other technicians in the workshop and maybe a few people that you could call for help. But after that, what do? You're stuck. So Mechanics started to connect mechanics all around Australia so you can bounce ideas off each other to solve problems, because someone who's the problem that you're having right now, someone on the other side of the country has probably fixed it last week. So by connecting each other, we can help each other solve problems. And it's evolved from that over the years. So what we found that there's a lot of technicians out there that are really hungry to be better, to learn, to be better at their craft. So over the years, we've provided a platform that helps facilitate that. So it's evolved into career progression, career development, education, training. And as we sit here today, we've got over 15,000 members. So we're Australia's largest network of mechanics.
Network and technology goes hand in hand.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, the industry's facing a lot of challenges right now, but Mechanic.com.au is there and ready to support. But what do you think are some of those challenges that the businesses are facing at the moment?
How long have we got?
It's a bit like that.
It's a long list, I think, and they sort of fall into a few different areas. But one of the standouts at the moment is new car warranties is a challenge for aftermarket workshops. So I'd say most motorists are still under the impression they need to go back to the dealer to maintain their new car warranty, to have the logbook servicing done. And for the most part, that's not true, but it's just something that motorists aren't conscious of. We've got cap price servicing plans that dealers offers now, so they're sometimes called fixed price service plans. On paper, they're a great idea. It sounds great for the motorist, but in some instances, the devil's in the details. So it looks quite appealing on the forefront, but there's definitely a deficit of information to motorists as to what happens actually when you go through that process. So there's education needed for motorists there. Another problem that we're facing at the moment is comparison websites. So there's a number of comparison websites out in the automotive service and repair industry now. And what they do is a model similar to what the likes of a Trivago or Booking.com for hotels. So basically, a motorist will go on there, identify their vehicle, pick the service they require, and it stacks all the workshops up like hotel rooms. And car servicing isn't like booking a hotel room. It's not really a commodity market. And the trap we fall into there is motorists think they're comparing apples with apples, and they're really not. You'll have a price that's $220 for the service and another workshop that's $370 or something quite higher. And no one's talking about the reason for that. Why is there such a disparity in the prices? So comparison websites and the way that they can convey things to motorists can be damaging, I believe, to aftermarket workshops. So that's another problem that we're facing. Skill shortage at the moment. Being able to recruit and retain technicians is very difficult at the moment. We've got data sharing and a whole bunch of things that we'll talk about in further episodes. But the key challenges at the moment are around being close to our customers, educating our customers, and how we portray our industry to the market as aftermarket workshops.
Sounds very reactive to what the customers want and need right now in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got to be behaving and marketing in the age that we live in at the moment. Everything's digital. Like everything today, look, in the studio here, we're surrounded by technology. I use my phone to get here, find the location, pay for my car parking. And a lot of workshops out there aren't adapting. They're not making iterations in their business to behave in the way that consumers are. To provide solutions in the way that consumers are behaving. And I think that's the key.
Okay. What do workshops need to do to rise to these challenges?
It's like I said before, I think we've really got to take stock of the fact that consumer behaviour's changed. It's 2022 and, for some workshops, they might have customers in their older demographic that are happy, picking up the phone at 10 o'clock and having a chat about booking their car service. But let's be honest, particularly with the younger demographic, we don't book car servicing at 10 a.m. on a weekday. We do it at 7 p.m. They're at home watching maths, watching TV, researching their car service. They want to do it after hours and they want to do it in a way that's convenient. So as workshops, if we're not providing solutions that fit with consumer behaviour, we're going to get left behind.
That's a really good observation, because in some of these businesses, you have different aged employees, older and younger, and the younger ones are already ready to accept this technology, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to realise that we're not just catering for one particular, like as a workshop for motorists, or whether it be our own staff and technicians, we've got to cater for different demographics, different age groups. And if we stick our head in the sand and say, this is the way we've always done it and always will, that's a problem. And that brings me back to the AAA Expo that we just exhibited at a few weeks ago. I had conversations with some workshops there, and these are probably on the edge of this, but I had a gentleman say to me, I've been trying to build a website for 10 years and I haven't got around to it yet. Another gentleman I spoke to was saying that I asked him the question, how do I book my car with you if I'm your customer? He said, you can ring the workshop, but we probably won't pick up because we're just busy at the moment. And it's just, you just think like, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like these workshops, the reason they're busy is because they've been around for, in some cases, decades. They've built an exceptionally good business. They do good quality work, great customer service. But by the time that it impacts them, it's going to be too late to make change. Like they need to get on the front foot with providing solutions, having a strong digital presence, having online booking solutions, doing online education to customers, trying to dispel the myths that we fight every day as mechanics. And they need to take action with that. That's what they need to do.
Well, you say the workshops need to take action, but are they all doing it or only a small portion?
No, it is a small portion of workshops that are actually getting on the front foot and making change. And I think there's two reasons for it. One I covered before. There are plenty of workshops out there, they're busy. They're doing okay at the moment and they're not actually being impacted by the repercussions of not going digital and modernising their business. But as I said before, by the time that it becomes an impact, then they've got to scramble. It's too late and they've fallen behind the curve there. So that's number one reason, is things are okay as they are, and I've got other things to worry about. Or number two is I'm time poor. And I've been in that situation, run an automotive workshop, and there is so much you've got to do. Like it is actually difficult, You're often there till late in the night. It's difficult to switch off, and it can be conveyed as it's another thing another fire that I've got to put out, another thing that I've got to deal with. So I think the reason for that in some workshops is they might not necessarily have the systems in place. They might be suffering staff shortages at the moment, but they need to, and I know this is the corny old adage, but they need to work on the business, not in the business, to be able to thrive. So I think they're the two reasons that many workshops aren't or haven't tackled this yet. And the ones that are, they're doing it themselves. So they're stepping out of something else, and they're doing we've got to build a website, we've got to do digital marketing, search engine optimization, keywords, retargeting, booking solutions. How do we integrate this with our workshop software? They're going from, in most cases, a technical automotive specialist or a business practitioner, which is moving to something that's out of their core competency.
Yeah.
So their time isn't best spent building this from the bricks up, the ground up.
And they're still trying to remember the kids' birthdays and whether or not they ordered the clutch on time and everything else in between.
Yep, exactly. It's busy up here, and I think trying to be a novice in a new field, it's just not smart. It's you don't have your best diagnostic technician sweeping the floor. It doesn't make sense. And I think it's a similar analogy for the workshop. So they're showing the initiative. They're doing what they need to do, and commend them for that, because as I said, a lot aren't. But is it really sensible for them to be leading the charge on that? And I don't believe it is.
So what should the aftermarket workshops be focusing on right now?
So I think having a strong online presence is paramount at the moment. If you're not online, and like I said before, many great workshops out there have put little to no effort into their digital footprint.
You can't sell a secret.
No, exactly right. So I think that's something that we need to be focusing on. So our presence online, we need to have online booking solutions for our workshops. So having a website that was built 6 years ago that has a contact form is not an online booking solution. You need to be able to take the pain points out and make it easier and less work for both the customer and the workshop to be able to take bookings. So do we have rego search? Can we pick service intervals? Can we pick service dates? They're the things that we need to be providing for our customers because it helps us as well. We need to be doing online marketing. So as I said before, there are so many misconceptions that motorists have in our industry, whether it be about servicing or service intervals or repairs, or there are so many things that we struggle with day in and day out, and we need to be educating consumers about those things. And if we do it in an online capacity, we tell the story once and then it's evergreen. Then thousands of people over the fullness of time can consume that, and it helps not only educate customers, but it helps qualify customers. You know what I mean? Like, most of the workshops that are going to be listening to this, they don't want the shopper docket customers who want the cheapest service. That's not what we're targeting. And by doing what we call that top of funnel effort, by vetting those customers and saying, here's some education, does this fit with what you're seeking? Yeah. It helps, it stops us from wasting time and helps us qualify new customers. So it's important that we do that marketing and we're out there for new customers. But on the other side of the coin, we need to be able to provide solutions for our existing customers. Don't lose sight of the customers that have been with us. For the sake of generating new customers, we need to provide solutions for existing customers, and a lot of them are going to love the opportunity to be able to do everything online, after hours, ready to go, locked in, booked, done, confirmed. Rather than, as I said before, as workshop owners, we're all very busy, but so is everybody else. So is the dentist, doctor, teacher, mum. They've all got busy lives, and that extra 20 minutes they have to take out of their day to ring up, go through that process. It's not efficient for them. It's not efficient for us. So that's what we need to be doing.
And you look at the hospitality industry, and a lot of people are booking restaurants and seats at restaurants at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, not 10 minutes before they rock up. And they could be doing it a week and a half before. They can see it online. That's an industry that's got themselves systematized and organized. So what you're saying is falling in line with what the customers expect outside of the automotive industry as well.
Well, I think the key point that you've hit on there is the whole world is changing. This isn't specific to any particular industry. It's hospitality. It's booking the doctor, the dentist, our appointments, our consults. Everything's moving that direction, and as workshops, we need to be doing it as well. So it's not unique to any particular industry, but that's a fantastic example of what we can use as a looking glass into what we should be striving to become.
Space we can move into.
Yep, absolutely.
Apart from the online side of things, what else could the focus be on?
Well, not what it could be on, but what it absolutely needs to be on is how are we evolving inside of our workshop. So it's great to talk about online and bookings and all that sort of thing, but what about once the customer in the car gets to the workshop, are we still doing things the way we did, 2, 5, 10 years ago? So where are the wins there where we can be more efficient in delivering that service? Because there's a lot more to take than just taking the booking to running a workshop. The car comes in, it's the technician, it's the training, it's the diagnostic, it's ordering the parts, it's the invoicing, it's the communicating with the customer. There's a whole value chain that goes on beyond that. So we need to look at our businesses and make sure that we're setting aside time to look at, what are the new technologies, platforms and practices that we can use to make our businesses more efficient instead of just leaving them the way they've done. So, in terms of how we're quoting, are we still getting the scratch pad out and, are we using our workshop management system to come up with a quote, or can we automate that? Are we still using paper job cards and then having the service advisor type them up and try and read the mechanic's handwriting? And if many mechanics are like me, I was terrible.
Mechanics, doctors,
very similar. I think they're on par, but we're doing things now that we shouldn't be doing anymore, and it's just because we're sort of set in our ways. So the takeaway is that as a business owner, as a workshop manager, we need to set aside some time to think about where are the easy wins, the quick wins, and where are the longer term things that we can implement to run a more efficient business. Because that's going to help every other pillar, every other discipline within the business. Effect. Absolutely. So we need to set time aside for that.
Look, that's a lot for the business workshop owners to take on board, and a lot of them are going to want to evolve. There's no doubt about that. But what's the best solution moving forward?
Look, there's a number of solutions in the marketplace at the moment, whether it be about websites, booking solutions, training and workshop development. But what we've found is there's not really anything turnkey like a consolidated solution, and more importantly, it actually works in the best interests of the workshop that isn't serving somebody else's needs. So, in the case of booking platforms, some of them take the narrative of moving the customer around to different workshops to find the best price each time they need a service. We don't believe that's the way it's done. You find a good mechanic and you stick with them. Yeah. And what consumers shouldn't be looking at is not what the cheapest price is, but where's the best value. So we need to deliver something like that. And as I said before, taking a booking, being online is only one part of the puzzle. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens in the workshop. So we need a solution that supports the rest of that value chain, the rest of that journey as well. So, in our research, we didn't find anything in the industry that had all that, which is why we've created the Evolve program.
Okay, so what is the Evolve program and what does it include?
So the Evolve program is a monthly subscription for workshops that prevents them from having to go and do all of these things themselves, start from ground zero and put all the fires out. So it's all of the things we've talked about in a package that actually works in the workshop's best interest. Right. So as part of the Evolve subscription, workshops get a microsite where they can take bookings 24/7, rego search, service interval lookup, all of those tools that we talked about before. We're educating consumers, educating motorists about the important things and qualifying those customers. We're trying to attract high quality customers into workshops and educating about what's important. Alongside that, our estimate engine, so that allows motorists to be able to put in their rego and pick their service and see how much can I get this service for, what price range at an aftermarket workshop rather than going to the dealership. And the reason that we provide that price range is, as we know and as we discussed before, there's a reason that the cheap ones are cheap and there's a reason that the more expensive ones are expensive. And it's the quality of parts that are going into the car, it's experience of the workshop. Yes. There's all of those variables that those other platforms aren't talking about.
Right.
That's what we're doing with Mechanic.com.au. So once we've vetted those customers, we're delivering those to the workshops that are on the Evolve program. So we're trying to educate customers and get high quality customers into those quality aftermarket workshops.
Fantastic.
But by the same token, as I said before, as much as it is about new customers, it's about providing solutions for existing customers who are behaving in a different way now, that they have different wants and needs. So it allows workshops to be able to provide those services to their existing customers as well.
Systematise, optimise and evolve. It sounds like what the business owners are going to want to at the very least look at.
They need to, or they're going to be in trouble. But by whatever means that they do it, we can't keep doing what we've always done. It's not going to continue to work. In the age that we live in, as the years go by, we've got to do something. And as I said, what we're trying to do is package this in a way that works in the workshop's best interest. So, and aside from the online booking and marketing and digital solutions, there's a bunch of other features that come into the fold for Evolve.
And what, beyond the workshop? So behind the scenes?
Yeah, exactly. So as we said before, getting the booking and doing the top of funnel part is important, but there's a lot of other things that we need to look at in our business with our operations, technicians, technology. So there's other components to Evolve, such as Evolve TV. So we've got a lot of fantastic guests lined up as this series continues. So I've got the Evolve TV, which is a great way to be able to consume these things in a really concise way for business owners. We've got Evolve Academy, which is an educational platform to help them follow up on the things that we're talking about in Evolve. What are the action points behind that and how can I actually leverage those in the business?
Yes.
We've got Evolve Hub, which is a private community of leading aftermarket workshops. So to continue the conversation from Evolve TV to share information and knowledge about improving our businesses.
Right.
as part of Evolve, workshops can search for technicians that are available in their area and post job advertisements as part of the Evolve subscription. So being able to find and recruit technicians is a big challenge at the moment. And as you know, a lot of the technicians on the Mechanic.com.au platform are there because they're hungry, they want to be better, they want to learn. So it's a great opportunity for workshops to keep their finger on the pulse of who's available in my area. There's also discounts on the technical training we do with ATG and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it really is a very value-packed package that we've launched.
It sounds very customer-centric, but also very industry-focused.
Yeah, that's the point. I think a lot of the other solutions that are in the marketplace, they're not first and foremost serving the industry, in our opinion and in the opinion of a lot of other workshops. So what we're trying to do is ensure that what we're doing is working in the workshop's best interests.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you know, Mechanic started on the workshop floor. It didn't start in a marketing agency. So, we want to see workshops succeed. We don't want to see, the roller doors come down on workshops that have been around for decades.
Yeah.
There's no reason that needs to happen. And in our mind, Evolve is a solution that is going to help workshops move forward.
Brilliant. Can any workshop join the Mechanic.com.au Evolve program?
Look, Jason, it's really important to us that we have high quality workshops on our platform. If we're going into the marketplace and saying the cheap ones are cheap for a reason, you should be focusing on value and not price, it's important that the workshops that are on our platform actually are congruent with that message. So we do have eligibility criteria. So first is code of conduct. So in terms of how you operate your business, the standard of equipment that you have, the quality of parts you use, they're all things that workshops need to meet in terms of the criteria for the platform. There's a training criteria. So, our belief is that you never stop learning and you need to continue to invest in training in a technical capacity and business. And wherever you get that from, we can't get enough of it, but we need to see that workshops are actually staying current because, I've been off the tools now myself for 4 or 5 years and I'd struggle to go back into a workshop. So education is important and it's a criteria that workshops need to meet. And finally, there's some criteria around the Google business profile. So we want to see that workshops are able to conduct themselves and have made some initiative with their digital presence, that they've got reviews from customers, that they've actually been able to maintain a digital presence. And look, there's a lot of great workshops out there that haven't hit that bar yet, that will be a good candidate for the Evolve program.
Okay.
And we'll help them get to that stage if they need to be able to level up to meet that criteria. But that criteria is there for a reason, and that's because we want high quality aftermarket workshops.
Okay. And so where can workshop owners go to learn more about the Evolve program?
So if they go to trade.mechanic.com.au and create a free account, there's more information about the Evolve program there. Or they can go to mechanic.com.au and hit the trade site button.
It's a very exciting notion of putting this into the industry at a time when it needs it the most.
It's overdue. Overdue.
And as everything evolves with the community in every industry, it's really good to hear that the automotive industry is going to have a solution moving forward for some of those big challenges that they're facing right now.
Yeah, as I said, there are so many challenges that we're facing at the moment, and some that I didn't touch on before. We've got data sharing, accessing information, and a bunch of things that we'll be talking about in future episodes of Evolve. But it's not easy at the moment. We need solutions to be able to keep up and thrive. So Evolve provides that to aftermarket workshops.
Well, in an industry that embraces technology with every year that the manufacturers change it, it's great to have Evolve on the table now and available as a viable option moving forward.
Fantastic.
For everyone watching, we hope you've got a lot of value from this episode of Evolve TV. If you have any comments or questions about today's episode, head to the Evolve Hub community to continue the conversation. We look forward to seeing you on another episode of Evolve TV.